Lasagna in an Instapot? Yep, it's completely possible. So I'm going to show you how to take all of these ingredients and make it into this. Let's get started. First, take out your Instapot and turn on the saute function. The default on mine is 30 minutes, and that's way more time than is really needed. But unlike what I did, wait until the display shows the hot setting and then add 2 to 3 teaspoons of olive or avocado oil. Once the pot is good and hot, add 1 pound of ground beef or ground turkey. I use the meat chopper to break apart the ground turkey. After it's done browning, press the cancel button to stop the saute function and drain the grease from the cooked meat. I didn't have so much grease left over from the brown turkey, so I didn't worry about it. But add the meat back into the pot and stir in about a half teaspoon of salt. Transfer the mixture to a bowl and set it aside. Rinse out the pot and return it to the Instant Pot. Pour 1.5 cups of water into the pot and add the trivet for easy removal. To be honest, this trivet came with my Instant Pot, but it didn't help me much in this case. The handles aren't long enough, and I ended up having to dig out the springform pan out with some forks. So I just laid it on the bottom of the pot so that the springform pan would sit on top of it. I'm looking into this bakeware sling to see if it's a better fit and it has any longer handles so I can use in future videos. Take a package of non-boil lasagna noodles and break them into large enough pieces to fit into the bottom of the springform pan. Every item that I mentioned in this video will be listed below so you can check it out for yourself as well. Try your best to cover all the spaces at the bottom. If there are any open spaces, it'll be okay. You'll need about 1.5 cups of your favorite homemade or store-bought sauce to add layers to the dish. I'm using the Newman's Own marinara pasta sauce because it's inexpensive and it doesn't have any crazy ingredients. So next, spoon 1/3 of the sauce mixture on top of the first layer of lasagna noodles and smooth it out with a spatula. Then evenly add 1/3 of the cooked, crumbled up meat on top of the sauce. You'll need roughly 2 cups of spinach, but you can use less if you like, but add 1/3 of the spinach on top. Next, you'll need 8 ounces of shredded mozzarella cheese. I use my Zule rotary cheese grater to shred 8 ounces of cheese and spread 1/3 of it on top of the spinach. I bought a 15-ounce container of ricotta cheese. You'll need about 8 ounces, but you're grown and you can use as much as you like. Spoon and spread some ricotta cheese on top of the mozzarella. Repeat the process for the second layer. Then repeat this process for the third and final layer. I shredded a bit more mozzarella for the top layer to fill in the gaps. In retrospect, I could have just used a little less on the first or second layer. Loosely add a layer of aluminum foil on top. As I mentioned earlier, the Trivet's handle was not long enough to lower it down, so I had to lower the springform pan down as gently as possible. Put on the lid and lock it. Select the pressure cook setting and set it to high. Set the timer for 20 minutes and wait until the Instant Pot has built up pressure. I'll mention this later on in the video, but I actually wished I would have set it for 30 minutes, but we'll talk about that later. I allowed it to natural release for additional 20 minutes, unlocked, and removed the lid. I carefully lifted out the pan with 2 forks and set it on a towel. Remove the foil from the top. Place the springform pan on an actual sheet pan and put that in your oven on the broiler setting for about 5 minutes to lightly brown the cheese topping. Carefully remove the springform pan from the lasagna. Slice it into pieces. Taste it and enjoy. As a side note, if I were to do it all over again, I would have added 10 more minutes for a 30-minute cook rather than a 20-minute cook. The noodles could have been cooked a little bit longer. Some of the noodles were pliable, but they just need to be cooked a little longer. Overall, the flavors tasted really good together. It was super cheesy, and it did taste like lasagna. Is the process better than cooking lasagna in the oven as opposed to the Instant Pot? I would say no. I have a longer Pyrex dish container, and with that, I wouldn't have to break the noodles into oddly shaped pieces. I could make more lasagna at one time, and it would take just as long to cook. But overall, it really did taste good. So I'm doing something different for the recipe ranking. Check out my recipe ranking webpage to see where I currently rank this dish. You can find that in the link in the description below. It's an ongoing list, so it's going to be ever changing over time. So check out the previous video, the homemade blackberry lemonade recipe, right here or in the description below. And question: do you prefer lasagna with ricotta cheese or cottage cheese? God bless, and comment below.